The role of the nervous system in female orgasm. Female orgasm is a complex neuro-reflex process involving peripheral nerve conduction, spinal reflex arcs, brain regulation, and the release of neurotransmitters and hormones. Peripheral nerve pathways. Sexual stimuli are transmitted to the brain through 4 key nerves. The pudendal nerve carries sensations from the clitoris and vulva S to S4. The pelvic and hypogastric nerves transmit signals from the vagina and cervix S to S4 and T1-OL2. These nerves join at the inferior hypogastric plexus, serving the uterus and upper vagina. The vagus nerve may bypass the spinal cord entirely, sending deep vaginal and cervical sensations directly to the brainstem, explaining why some women with spinal injuries can still orgasm. Spinal reflex arcs and pelvic muscles. Once peripheral stimulation signals reach the sacral region of the spinal cord, they trigger a series of reflex arcs that lead to muscle contractions and glandular secretions during orgasm. The sacral spinal cord S to S4 processes sensory input and triggers motor output. For example, sensory signals from the clitoris and vagina enter the sacral cord and activate motor neurons, which then send signals via the pudendal nerve to cause rhythmic skeletal muscle contractions. Such as those of the bulbus spongicis and ischio-cavernous muscles, commonly referred to as pelvic floor muscle contractions. At the same time, parasympathetic neurons in the sacral cord are activated, leading to contractions of the vaginal wall and uterine smooth muscle, as well as changes in glandular secretions. Brain areas like the NPG in the brainstem release serotonin to inhibit, while the limbic system and hypothalamus enhance the orgasm reflex. Emotional states influence whether the brain allows the reflex to fully occur. Brain activation during orgasm. While the basic orgasmic reflex is mediated by the spinal cord, the brain's involvement transforms orgasm into a complex and pleasurable experience. As stimulation increases, fMRI studies show activation in the somatosensory cortex, clitoris, vagina, cervix, each have distinct zones. This confirms that the vagina and cervix have rich and independent neural inputs, and are not merely felt through indirect stimulation of the clitoris. The limbic system, hippocampus, amygdala, and reward centers, nucleus accumbens. Just before orgasm, the cerebellum and prefrontal cortex increase tension. At climax, the hypothalamus releases oxytocin, triggering strong uterine contractions and feelings of pleasure. Over 30 brain regions are involved. During orgasm, areas like the amygdala and orbital frontal cortex are suppressed. This reduces fear and self-control, allowing full immersion. The role of neurotransmitters and hormones. Orgasm is accompanied by fluctuations in various neurochemicals. Oxytocin causes muscle contractions and emotional bonding. Dopamine triggers pleasure and euphoria via the reward system. Endorphins offer calm and pain relief. Prolactin rises post-orgasm, promoting satisfaction and suppressing further arousal. Orgasm is both a neural and hormonal event. Signals drive response, and chemicals shape experience. Special pathway. Nipple stimulation. Nipple stimulation activates both breast and genital sensory zones in the brain. Mental imagery can also trigger orgasm. Brain scans show fantasy can activate the same neural circuits as physical touch. This shows how flexible and brain-driven female orgasm truly is.